Hi everybody. I've been giving periodic updates on the performance of my 2023 CF Moto UForce 600. And so being in Texas and being in this heat wave that we're in right now, it's about 110 to 111 degrees air temperature right now, not the heat index, but the actual temperature. So I thought I would go over the cooling system again and just show the performance of it. Now, just so you know, I'm on about 40 acres of land in North Texas, and so this heat is not uncommon for us, but it's certainly not a lot of fun and everything. And so my UForce, I use it to, I'm doing wildlife management, so you can see the feeder there, and I'm working with that on deer and other wildlife, whether it's rabbits, dove, things of this nature. So that's what, I haul a lot of feed with it, haul other equipment, that's smaller in nature and things of this nature. So let me just show you. Here's the, you guys are all probably very familiar with cooling systems on these units, on all different types of UTVs. But just so you can see, what I'm looking at, here, there's the antifreeze there with the radiator. And recently, last weekend, I sprayed the radiator down just to kind of clean it out, just to make sure I wasn't getting a lot of dust and debris in there, bugs, sticks, etc. Just kind of caught into it. But this lets you see the front end of this and where that cooling system is and things of this nature. So let me shut the hood, and then we'll start it up and then go to the other part of the place, so you can see what the temp gauge does and how it holds its own. And to this point, I've been really pleased with the performance of it. And it's something, like I said in my last video on the cooling system, I paid attention to whenever I bought the unit and asked some questions about it, just to make sure in Texas it's going to perform and I don't run into a problem with stuff overheating all the time. So, all right, so here we go. Now, one thing I want to point out on this windshield system, right now I've got it just at a slight angle. I can pop it if I wanted to all the way out to get kind of a breeze through there, just for me, but I'm not real concerned about that today. So here's my instrumentation panel. When I start up in a second, it'll light up and kind of knock some dust off of it there, and then you'll be able to see everything. So here we are with just an idle, and it's still pretty new. I've got just 37 miles on it, and so obviously I don't drive it a ton, but you can see just at the idle, I drove up here a second ago before I started the video, so it just dropped down to about half where that reading is right there. Okay, so let me go ahead and put it in gear, and then we'll get going. Now, one thing I've read a couple other places, or somebody said that the gear shift is a little bit of a problem on this. I haven't really noticed an issue to this point. It'll shift and you'll probably hear it a little bit, but it really hasn't been a problem for me where the linkage is getting way out of whack up to this point. And I've had it a few months, and I do some more idling than I actually drive, because I've got a smaller place, so I really haven't experienced a big problem with that up to now. So, all right, so here we go. We're in high gear, and we're just going to just drive straight ahead. Let's see how we do. Okay, so you can see, the fan hasn't turned on yet, but I bet it kicks on here in just a second. So we're running about, well, 3/4 of that gauge, and if it tops on out, I bet the fan kicks on here in just a second. But cooling system did well. Now, it's not like I drove for 45 minutes to an hour somewhere and wasn't going at a real high speed, but sometimes that's as hard on them as anything whenever you're going a lower speed and they don't have just the wind to help keep it cool. There, it just popped up. That's actually 3/4. That's not max yet. So I mean, it did really well, and it continues to do well. So this is a field I had cleared back in the spring, and we planted a